Hello. Okay. Welcome back to our CS 310, our cybersecurity. And for today's lab, we will start to even we're coming few labs. I'm going to cover like some certain attack. And this one we start with the SQL injection. So for the SQL injection, it's a pretty common way, but for nowadays, it's really hard to do the demonstration because in the lab, I would like to let you to try and try to execute certain files. Okay, so you may able to follow me and because we since we're doing like online in this moment, so I will tell you what you need to prepare. But actually, you couldn't actually you're not able to do the injection. But at least I need to let you know like what's that mechanism, how it works, why it works. Okay, but why nowadays it doesn't work. Okay. And because for the as well, maybe you learn the computer science or with the cybersecurity, you will study like database, right? Okay, so database, we always have example using MySQL. So you know the SQL, we have the queries, right? So SQL injection, so will be the code like injection technique. So they try to like expose to the vulnerabilities like in application software. So all right now nowadays, all the software application, like most time we will save our data to the database. Okay, so they can try to manipulate the queries. Okay, so and then they're able to like access to certain sensitive data. They may be modify, even like delete the data on the database. So here's the main target. And what's the mechanism? So most of the time when we say the SQL injection or something like SQL injection, so it will be like the through the user input directly, maybe in the SQL queries or malicious input. So they will alter the SQL statement. Mainly how it looks like. So maybe for the normal query. So if you have idea, like now we're using Slack, Astra, to start from user where, and we'll give the condition, right? So if we assume for the situation is like for login, we will pass the user name and the password. Okay, let's say with the user and password. And if we try to pass something else, like let's say giving an admin or dash dash, or then here's the idea, like when we pass, okay. And for the SQL injection, so we have like different type of way to do it for the SQLite. So we have some like for the error base or the union base. So error base, that means that we try to inject something like called the failure and try to get like return message like this. Union is like we try to connect with those like command and then like put extra conditions so we can like union together as a return. So if you know what's the union is one of the keyword, so we can use to concatenate all the content, right? And then inferential SQL, so we call it bind SQL. So we maybe some like Boolean based or time based. So Boolean based, you will see that always true. So we will see in our example. And also alpha band. Okay, so will be the data they try to receive like using different channel. Okay, so we have three different types of SQL injection. And basically, we just like including like for we have some file permission we call it. So just the idea. And I would like to share some actual example and of a SQL injection. So maybe in 2011, the Sony, the PlayStation for the network. So because they able to like explore the SQL injection in the Sony's like PlayStation network, so they're leading to the theft of the personal information. And the reason why, because okay, even actually it's pretty long time ago, it's like almost like 13 years ago. And actually the concept of SQL injection is really happening, but the production or level they change maybe different way for hacker level, like attacker level. They do have more like advanced method, but for our study purpose, like in education, we always learn some like basic fundamental way. So that's why it's not working. Like if you say, okay, I learned SQL injection, pretty sure like 100% you will not able. Like even like give you some sample code, it won't work. Okay. The reason why that you should tell me, okay, later. Okay. And also like what's the impact? Because like after the PS5, so all those like user information, including their name, address, some critical information, they like was like compromised and also it caused the network down for over 3 weeks. So there were lots of players. So once they lost the network for 3 weeks, they really caused really significant like financial loss, also their reputation. But of course, lots of gamers they just like came back, but they cost almost 171 millions due to the legal fee or lost business, or even the consumers like compensation like this. So always try to do like doing testing, especially maybe like for PS5, they have like specific API, and then like maybe let the attacker to attack. So we need to do an vulnerability like testing when they release certain function. Okay. And then another one is the called the TalkTalk they're using for the it's a for UK telecom company. It's called TalkTalk. So it has experience like data branches like due to the SQL injection attack on its like website. So mainly maybe some like contact form login. So it's the same. So the attacker able to access the sensitive customer data, and approximately around 157,000 customers have their like personal information access, including their bank details and address. Okay, so basically why? Because all the customer information, especially nowadays, everything like stay on the cloud, and those sensitive data like all stored in the database, no matter the format, like regular relational database or some NoSQL like this, but we are able to retrieve it and like keep going. So what we learn, so always like provide a database security, some like patch management, and always like we need to have some robust like security measures, including some like real-time management and anomalies. So all this is like important, like to prevent the SQL injection. And actually for this lab, we need to install certain of things. But before we start, and because I know in the study, you can choose like actually for the later project, I would like you to choose like one of the like compare, like maybe you can Trojays or like ransomware. So I would let you to compare even like the MySQL the database, the SQL injection, also the XSS like cross-site attack. So all these like okay. Because we need to do testing, so you may have like several ways to do it. If you before like, but I'm not like forcing you using the EC2, or like if you running using your VM, your Ubuntu, then we can try to create my the first install the MySQL, and then we can test all those injection. Okay, and then we can using some certain create the input form. So input form, or sometimes we can use the Postman or to send some necessary request. So mainly the idea, so you see for the, if you remember, we have three types of the attack. So right here for some Boolean or like condition. So one now is not working anymore. But I would like to let you know, okay, when we pass, okay, for the username. So when you pass the username, password, so you see the double quotation right here, right? So it will treat it as a complete string, okay? And password, I don't care is anything, but I try to add one more the single condition is called OR. And then you see that 1 equals to 1. Okay. So what's the meaning of this one? So if you familiar with the SQL query, okay, so we will try to merge like this one is just that it pass the parameter, but for the SQL query actually is look like this. So maybe if we are trying to running select, okay, so let's say I select anything from maybe called the user table. Okay, so we have the where condition, right? So right here we will where, maybe I will check the username. Okay, compare with the username called admin, right? We will put the and condition. Okay, put it right here. And then we will check the password. Okay, so for the password, you see right here, we will just like put anything. Okay, you see what anything right here. Then what's the injection, like the purpose like doing in behind? Actually, when we most of the time when we compare the password, it should be ending in this way. But when we adding the condition or, that means that we pass the condition or right here, and 1 equals to 1 like this. So if you see a condition, it will be more likely just we treat it as a string. Okay, so it doesn't matter. So it always return true. So because like for the condition, for the like if we only checking user and like password, okay, so we only if we need to make sure we get the condition, okay, we need to make sure true and true. So we always like get the true. Then that means like the user account exists. Then we can log in. But if we after we add the injection, so if we add the or condition, it will becomes like this. Or is always true, right? So no matter how, if you're familiar with the logic gates, so if you know like true, false, we always like getting false or like false, and false, and then okay. So if you know the logic, because like we need to make sure, okay, the username is correct and password is correct. So the user can log in. So it's always true. But when we add the condition or, because this situation is like 1 equals to 1 is always true. So when always true is exists, so I don't care like what is the previous condition. Okay, right here. That means I always can get when I have an or condition. So it's always true. So they always output true. Okay. Or true. So it's always true. And this one or true. Okay. So here's the one of the mechanism like we're using Boolean and make sure. Okay. But this one is the post like for simulation. But I let you know the mechanism, and then later, if you're interested, I will show you how can you install it and then doing testing. But so far, actually, when you even you want to test it, you're not able to execute the SQL injection because nowadays the all the database they try to detect it. Okay, so you're not able to perform the attack. So that's how I say that. And when we knowing okay how it works, then we need to know what's the prevention, what the techniques, or somehow like if you know for the input box, like if let's say we have the manual, we have the login account, And for login, you will see we have the username password, right? Okay, so maybe we'll try to detect does it contain any like special keyword, and then also maybe we'll change it to plain text. Okay, we'll do it like in our XSS attack, the cross-site attack. So for more details, because this one even I want to show you, but you couldn't able to see the result. So I just like let you know the theory. And for testing, and I will let we need to try to install. And you may be asked one more question is that okay, you know the relational database, right? The RDMS. Then how about here's a question is that how about the NoSQL? Do you know NoSQL? So one of the examples like MongoDB. So do you think is it possible NoSQL we can perform the injection? Then you may want to know, right? So actually for the NoSQL it's still possible because even though the structure like is not same as like as a query, but also we have some function search doing filter. That means if we can add some filter condition like always showing true, then we can do it in the same way. Okay, and because we need to set all this environment, so I will just like quickly go through what we're going to do. And I will already, if you go to the my video, your content, and there's a SQL file. I already like upload it. It's a zip file, and this zip file it contains some like examples. After I complete that, I will show you all this. And because we need to use the and Node.js and also the npm to demonstrate. Sometimes I give it a Python. So I will give you lots of different application. Because for the cybersecurity, I'm not really required you need to like learn pick up a new language or learn something. So at least as a basic for testing, like at least like if you want to try to see, observe the result, then you need to install certain application. And just like I will come back for the come back to this part and let you know how can we like doing the like set up the environment. But unluckily because they already have a detection, so we are not able to really perform the injection. Okay, and we can set up our own data like for testing, running our own local host and pass it to test it using a Postman. Okay, but this one I will do it later. So, but here's the same idea. So you see the OR, right? So for the passing the Postman to NoSQL, then we can doing the same. So we'll pass the OR condition. So once we pass this one to the API server, when we get it, then it's the same condition. So we always get the true. And we will let the user always like able to log in. Okay, no matter the input password or any password, it doesn't matter. We can still able to access it. So that's how it works. So it will like allow us to successfully log in. And for the prevention, maybe how can we, whether maybe we will change the plain text or like change the content like string, or like when we put the check the string, maybe we'll check the type of it, like maybe check, okay, if they're not, then we will say, okay, it doesn't exist like this. And of course, like we have more possible way to do it, like maybe we have some called the ORM, the object relational mapping. So we maybe have some like libraries to prevent the SQL injection or some input validation. That's like as the first step we need to know. So we try to whitelist some like acceptable inputs or like change to plain text. So to avoid some keyword like injected or some like database permission. So always limiting the permission to minimum necessary things like CIA when we talk about CIA. So the like the file permission we write execute those IDM. And always like we will emphasize like called the regular security audits. So we will like assess the application like for the vulnerabilities, and also we need to educate the developer like awareness and training. So to secure our coding practice. Okay, so far will be the idea, and I would like to show you how exactly looks like. So when you unzip the file, you will see multiple because for some injection I cannot post it. So I will show you the some sample code first, and then later if we have the chance. Okay. So the first statement is that okay, if you can create the database and then like change it and create this one, you will see we will create a table user and then we give the username, password, something like as a basic, and then we try to input like okay as an admin, and we have the password by default, right? So if you need to get some sample, then you can to inject this one to create your folder, your database tables. And the next, this one I will doing the demonstration later, like in the class. I will let you like see, but actually we cannot get the result because like if we like assume we have the database, right? We running right here on the server and then we connect it. Assume if you have the MySQL, and once here's the server side. So once we receive the payload, okay, the API. So that's how it looks like. So when you input the username, password, so we will receive it, right? So when we pass it, and if the password includes the or condition, that's why I say or 1 equals to 1. So we will like, they will concatenate like together, like union together with a condition password in behind, and it will show always true. But of course, like why it doesn't work? Because when we execute this SQL, actually the MySQL right now, actually they already convert it and then they will reject your like those like action like or like to concatenate with other like conditional situation. Okay, so they will check as a plain text or they will ask you. So that's why here's a reason. Even we want to simulate, but actually it's not working anymore because the MySQL itself also will reject your that's like they try to based on like always happen, so they will validate your input. Okay, and for the SQL injection, because we say a lot, and this is how it looks like. If we get the request, maybe we'll try to check it. Okay, we'll check the length and then or for the query. So we will like pass it. Okay, check the result or like when we return, maybe if we get it, then we'll give a correct login message, and then if incorrect, then we will return it as an incorrect. So we will never execute it. It's a possible way. And right here, I will give you the steps like if after we complete the setup. So after we set up, then we can like pass it with the username, password, and we will check. You will see this part when we grabbing the password with the variability, then we can able to access it. And for the NoSQL, so for the NoSQL, I have a sample code right here. So for the sample code, we have the like MongoDB. So on the MongoDB, in the previous part, you maybe really need to know how it really actually works. But this one will be the API server. So once the API server get the like when user want to log in with the username and password, okay, so we pass it to a route. So we try to log in. If we try to add the condition like this or and then 1 equals to 1 always true condition, if we pass it to the our MongoDB, so MongoDB will try to match it using the found one. So you say we try to match with the username, password. If we get the or condition, then we are able to log in. Okay, so I give you some example right here. If I never equals like something like if I try to pass it if the password username, but like with the like password, in case I pass it any condition, like let's say if she is a 111 and 1 equals to 1, right? Even I can put like A equals to A, B equals to B, 10 equals to 10, or even an integer, it doesn't matter. So anyway, but always when we pass it to like send this request to the payload and pass it to our the filter function of search function, or for MySQL is the SQL query, then we will add the condition or, okay. Then we always are giving true login, okay. And that's like how the mechanism it works. And always the better methods, like when we pass it and maybe we will try to validate. So we say like we have give a certain validation. So maybe we will check the type. Okay, is it the username? Is it only string? Or what's the type of the password? So we try to make sure they are all string. Okay, if yes, then we can start the search like function. So usually this code is for NoSQL. Okay, and it will be similar for the SQL query too. So always try to validate or convert to plain text. Then it will avoid the SQL attack. Okay, and since we cannot like really make it work because all these like no matter the MySQL or the MongoDB or like other like MarineDB or any database nowadays, actually they already prevent this breach. Okay, of course there will be some more advanced level or they like access to get the admin's account or password like SSA, or they will try to inject them file and then try to connect to the database and then retrieve the data. Of course, there are more other methods to do it, but like if we are only discuss about the SQL injection or NoSQL injection nowadays, we only able to understand the mechanism, but we cannot perform nowadays. That's you need to know. And let me try to set up. Because if we need to demonstrate and later, because then we need to install several things. First thing in the later for the lab, you need to install the code that will be the Node.js. We will running on the local host. So you see right here for the local host. So I will give you, if you're watching the video later, if some student like they are not following. So if you need to install the Node.js, but you are not learning other classes, so I just like telling you, you can install it directly. You can search, it's called Node.js, and you can search either the latest version, okay, the 23.8 or the LTS, either version will be fine. So you can, because it will detect which platform, like if you're using Windows or using Mac OS, and then you can install it. So if I'm using Mac, and then mine will using an NVM, it's called the Node Version Manager. So they will try to download the Node Version Manager and then install the version. Okay, so when you choose the install 23, open my terminal. And if you are able to download the Node.js, and how can we validate? Okay, you have it, then you can check using is a Node test3. So you get the version number, okay, and also your npm, okay. So you will get both the get the version number, okay. So if you have the version, that means it works, okay. So you already completely install it. Here's the first step you need to do to like install it. Either one you can sometimes for testing you can run it on your local host. Also you can install on your VM. So you can like on your VM. So let me open my VM. Okay. So for right now in this moment, if let's say if I try to check my Node version because I'm not yet installed it. So okay, I don't have it, right? So if you're running on your Linux, you can directly install the using sudo apt install Node.js. Okay, and then I pass yes condition. Okay, so I'm going to install the Node.js. Okay, so you see if I complete the installation, it's called Node.js. Yes, I got. Okay, let me check if I have the npm. Because when we install it separately, npm is called a Node package manager. Okay, so when we need to test with the Express or build a server, then we need to use it. So sudo apt install npm, and then yes, okay. This is what I'm going to install on the my Linux system. Okay. Before testing, so either way is okay. So I have the node on my the Linux, the Ubuntu. Also, I have node on my desktop. So once I need to try to like set up the server, then you can test it. And next will be I will install the MySQL. So if you have no idea how to install it, then I will recommend we have the digital motion like Ubuntu install we got MySQL right here. And of course, we'll start with our update, like apt update to get the fresh new list, and we can install the MySQL. Or sometimes we can test it with our current MarineDB. Either way will be okay. And there are some steps like for MySQL security installation. That means we try to remove like some testing account, and then also so maybe setting for the remote, and then we can execute. And once you get the page, go to the screen like this, like it may ask you, do you want to change the I think the password validation? Sometimes you can say no, so we're not going to validate it. And do you want to change the password by default? Maybe we before testing, then we can just like skip it, bypass all this. And how can you know, okay, you're able to successfully like able to connect? You can MySQL and then password the root, and then without any password. By default, MySQL, it doesn't have any password for root account. Then maybe you can create your extra user account, and then you can use my example I gave you for the test, like to create a database. And also like create a table and insert the one of the testing table. But unluckily, because the MySQL or MongoDB we are testing, they already checking. So even though we try to like complete all the steps, but you are not able to test it to get the result. So that's why I quickly go through the SQL, so let you know how it works. But at least you need to install the Node.js. The reason we need to install Node.js because in the later of the coming at least like 3 labs for the XSS attack, we need to set up. So in this lab at least I make sure you already install the Node.js. Or if you have a Python, okay, so maybe sometime I will try to give you 2 versions like or Python code to doing testing. But I'm better because everything we need to rely on is like XSS attack we need to test with the API server. And we use the Node.js to simulate to run the with the vulnerability server. So of course in the later lab I'll show you, but at least in this lab I need to let you know you need to install the Node.js. Okay. So if you are the Windows user, you can switch to using the FNM. Okay. And you can install it on the local. If on the Linux system, then you can use the two commands. Like one is the apt npm, also the apt install the Node.js. So both of them. And if you are interested, like in the future, like Node version and NVM. So actually, this is a GitHub, and it shows more the details. And Git installation. The advantage, like if you're using a Node version manager, because we can list. So if I have the Node version manager, so I can list like all the possible version, like right here. So if I have it, I can install the ls remote, and it will try to fetch all the previous version. So it's like good for developer in case I need to download or install a specific version. Okay, so let's say I already have I installed the 23.5 or 23.7. If I need to install the latest one, 23.8, then you can install it. Okay, so you can, so after we install it, we can like select alien and then like to by default. So let's say I want to switch it, and like right now I'm using 23.5, and then NVM I can switch like use, and then I can use the version maybe 23.7 like this. And that's what we need to do, because for this for we need to do for our lab. So I just at least make sure you install the Node.js. And since there are not so many students in this class, so if you're watching later, just make sure you install it. If you're attending right now, then you can try to install it right um in the lab. So I can help you if you have some like difficulty, if you have some getting some error, then I can help you to solve it. Okay. So so far will be your time. So I give you maybe around 30 minutes. So if you have no other question, or if you want to do it later, you feel free to do it. Okay. And for the Thursday class will be the lecture. So I will upload the lecture, and I will pre-record it. So I will record the lecture like after I finish the class, then I will record the lecture. Okay. For the lecture, we will talk about some about the risk management. So you may watch it later, and this will be on MySQL. So if you're interested, like let's say if you're ready, then we can try to install the for the MySQL. If you are interested about the like set up the database, or like have get some idea. So not only MySQL, but also we have the MariaDB. So it's a similar structure. So, but pretty a lot of people using this one for our database. So we can install it. So after we complete the sudo, okay. Well, for my I already working on it, like so I always have updated ABT, so it doesn't matter. For this one, we try to fetch the latest list. Okay, so after complete, so we have something to upgrade. So if you want to upgrade APT, upgrade. Okay, let me just upgrade it, and then side by side. Okay, so we need to install the MariaDB server. Okay. So we are going to install server. So if you pass the parameter, then you know these are the differences. So if I didn't pass Y, that means I need to press by myself. Yes, okay. So we can install the server, the database on our Linux system. Okay. And then after we complete it, maybe I can check it using systemctl status. Okay, so it's running. So you will see I put MySQL. Actually, the backbone is also the same as MySQL, but just the gateway is using called MariaDB. So actually, it will be the same. So you see it's running, so the server is working. And for better practice, like we always try to make that secure. So we will execute sudo MySQL secure installation. Okay, I think. Okay, let me try one more time. Okay, but this one is not available right here, so maybe I need to update later. For the MySQL secure installation, actually it helps us to checking like if you want to adding the password, like validation, and also they will try to remove some like temporary database remote, so it can reduce the security, the risk, and then increase the security of your database. So it also like maybe if you want to change the web password, and if you are able to do that, then we can access it. So let's say we have the checking it, the MariaDB. Okay, so we are able to access it, and I will try to create an account, but I'm not doing right now in this moment. So you can see, and we can check. So either one will be okay. So I will exit, or you will see the system status MariaDB or MySQL. So both of them will showing is executing. So here will be the database. For later for the testing, like for project, if you test with the database, then of course you will install it, but we are not really highly rely on it. And next one, you if you want to check, is called the MongoDB. Okay, for the MongoDB, it takes like slightly more steps to install it, and see right here. For different platform, we have different way to install it. Let's say if I want to install it on my laptop, it will be Mac OS, so I can like using Blue or like download it directly. If we try to install it on our system, you will see that we have the Ubuntu. We can just using the it's a Intel 64, so we'll be using 24 right here. So we can choose. Then we can download from the copy using the link, or either way to do it. So, or we can check it like how can we install it on a GitHub. So we go to installation. So they have the ham or other methods. But because we are not really required to test with the MongoDB, and there's no way to get the result, so I'm not really request you. And for cybersecurity, you are not really say, okay, you have to implement, but at least I want to let you know how they work. Okay, as a minimum. Okay. So you are not really required to set up the database. If you're interested, of course, like for extra, you can install it. But only one thing you need to install is the Node.js. So make sure of you have it. And because we need it for our coming field labs. Okay, so at least one thing you need to install is the Node.js. And so far that's it for today's lab. And if you have any question, like if you're attending right now, then you can ask me. If you have some difficulty to install the Node.js, please let me know. And also the last thing is I already upload the assignment. So you can check your assignment right here. And the assignment I post is about the numeric and symbolic file permission. Okay, so here all the total will be 20 questions. I told you because I try to answer it as the numeric will be 4 digits, and then symbolic will be 10 letters. So that's where you need to be careful, because some students they just ignore, they put like 3 digits. And if you all of your answer would be, if the answer they're all correct, but if you only put like 3 digits and then 9 letters, I still will do the half. Okay, this like only like way, because it's pretty some question you need to use the special bit if you remember special bit. So maybe sticky bit, or like we say, we need to get the inheritance, then you need to search or study, okay, if I have some folder files need to like inheritance, and then which sticky bit you need to use, then you need to search it. So all this condition, you may assume, or like if I didn't mention or by default create the file, you can use the 755. So like by default, like we say 75. Okay, so what's the 4-digit will be like this, and then if for file, so 7 will be read, write, execute, right? And then 5 will be read and execute, and 5 read and execute will be like this. So will be the format should be doing in this way. Okay, so if you're putting like this or like this, even though it's correct, then I will like all your total answer I will do the half. So be careful because it puts, and if you confuse, okay, so be careful of some keywords. If I say it's user owner, then you maybe assume like for owner, you should have the highest privilege. Okay, so that means you should be have a number 7 or we by execute. So we're assuming this, but with something without I didn't say it, or like especially for some global others, we are assuming something we only read only. So I'm not really like really strict on something not really mentioned, but at least you need to meet the criteria like called the least privilege. Okay, if I see you like, even though I create a file, I didn't mention anything, but you always give me like 7 and give me the read write execute. So, but it doesn't make sense. Okay, so of course I want to give you the math. But if you are able to at least like, if you give me the lowest, like let's say if you give me the 744, it still makes sense, or 740 still makes sense. So I'm not really harsh on this, on the like if I didn't mention it, but you need to give it make sense, or like follow the requirements like called the least privilege, then you're okay. And be careful for digits. Even I keep on emphasize, I know some students they just ignore it, and then you'll see I only can give you like half of it. So I only being like strict on this part, and that's it. And if I have no question, then I will finish the class right here. And if you have any problem to set up or install the Node.js, and then feel free to let me know. Okay. And if you really want to see how the SQL injection, then to be honest, no way to perform in our class, or like actually it's impossible to perform this one, because the SQL, the MongoDB, or the MySQL or MarineDB, so they already reject all these injection. So we have no way to test it. So we will get the we cannot compete or perform this query. So we cannot see anything. So that's why I only able to tell you how it works or how it looks like, and that's it. And if you have no other question, then I will finish the sharing right here. Any question? Okay, good. So yeah, now then I will end the sharing. So only one thing, just like remind one more time. So you have the new assignment. And if you need to clarify anything, if you're confused or you're not so sure, you can feel free to send me email and ask me about the assignment. And also if you have difficulty on installing the Node.js, also please let me know. Okay. Just be prepared. Then also I will give you time to try in the lab time, because I know not all the students taking it like right now in real time. So so the class will be pretty short, and then I will leave your time to try it by yourself. Okay, then I will end the sharing right here, and have a good one. Thank you.